This would be so good with a cup of strong tea or coffee. Ube butter mochi or ube mochi brownies. What do you call it? First time I had butter mochi was in Hawaii, and I knew I had to learn how to make it at home because it was so good. And if you've never had butter mochi, well, one, they are a lot chewier than a normal brownie, and two, you have to make this at home ASAP. Welcome back to Jeanelleats, a new fashion food show where you get to taste the flavors of the world in your kitchen. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss out on the weekly videos that I'm whipping up on this channel. This recipe was recommended by viewer Stella.ily on Instagram. Thank you so much, Stella, for the idea, because now me and everyone else out there gets to have ube butter mochi at home. In a large bowl, put in 5 large eggs. Really, I can't believe that this isn't called egg mochi instead of butter mochi. Whisk that up. Then we're gonna add 1/2 cup of melted butter, 1 can of coconut milk, and then 1 tablespoon of ube extract. I'll put a link in the description below to show you guys which brand I like to use. Mix up all the liquid ingredients together. Okay, that should be good enough. And then we're gonna put in our dry ingredients. So the first thing I'm gonna put in is 2 cups of white sugar. That sounds like a lot, but that's actually a lot less than other butter mochi recipes out there. If you want it to be sweeter, go ahead and add more. So just mix the sugars into the liquid ingredients a little bit, and then we're gonna add in the rest of the dry ingredients. So next I'm gonna add in 1 pound or 16 ounces of glutinous rice flour. Make sure it's glutinous rice flour and not just rice flour. You can also use Mochiko brand for this. Just dump it all in there. Next, I'm gonna put in 1 tablespoon of baking powder. And then finally, I'm just gonna add a pinch of salt to bring out more of that delicious flavor. Okay, and then just mix this all up until there are no more lumps. Perfect. Oh my gosh, look at that beautiful, vibrant purple color. Make sure you scrape the sides of the bottom of the bowl in case there might be some flour left that you need to mix up. Okay, perfect. Now we're ready to put this on a greased baking pan, and I'm using a 10 by 10 baking pan. Make sure that it's at least this size or bigger. This one's actually kind of pushing it, so if you don't want to spill anything, maybe go for a bigger one. You can use either butter or oil to grease your pan, whatever you have. Okay guys, so you have 2 paths to decide on here. What you can do is you can just put in all of the batter and then we can bake it as is. Or if you want to level up your ube butter mochi game, you can go ahead and add some ube jam, aka ube halaya. You can make ube halaya or ube jam at home. I have a recipe for that, which I'll link in the description below. Or you can go to an Asian or a Filipino market and you can get it pre-made in a jar. If you're gonna add ube jam in yours, we're gonna pour in about half of this mixture into the pan first. And then I'm gonna put the ube jam in a piping bag. Since the ube jam is pretty thick, I'm gonna have to put it in a piping bag instead of spreading it on top of the ube butter mochi batter. So when you pipe it, you don't have to cover the whole thing. Just imagine where you'll be slicing so that you can get a piece of ube jam with each slice of butter mochi. Okay, so that should be enough ube jam. I'm just gonna pour in the rest of the ube butter mochi batter on top, and then we're ready to bake. And then just spread the batter evenly across the top to cover all of the ube jam. Awesome, now stick this in a preheated 375-degree Fahrenheit or 190 degrees Celsius oven for an hour so that it can fully cook. if you guys are into yummy baked treats like this, I just recently released a bread baking cookbook. It's digital, so I'll put a link in the description below if you're interested. So what it has is 15 recipes, and some of it are classic Filipino panaderia recipes, but others are exclusive recipes that I created in this kitchen that you will not find anywhere else. So go ahead and check that out in the description below. Okay, while that's baking, I'm gonna toast some pinipig, which are these immature grains of glutinous rice that when you toast them, they become super crunchy. And then we're gonna put that on top of our ube butter mochi once it's done baking. Ooh, it's been an hour and our ube butter mochi is finished baking. So you'll probably notice that it's a little bit poofy at first, but as it cools down, it will deflate and it will have those cracks that's very familiar with butter mochi. Okay, so now I'm just gonna let it cool for maybe like 20 minutes before cutting into it. Okay, so the ube butter mochi is still kind of warm, but I think it's okay to cut. So now I'm just gonna cut along the sides of where I was piping the ube jam. Let's see what this looks like. And then sprinkle a lot of pinipig on top of your Ube Mochi brownies. I can't wait to try this. So after you bake it, you actually can't see the ube halaya, but let's see if it changes the texture of the butter mochi. Oh my gosh, I highly recommend using the pinipig. It adds such a good crunch to this, and you can taste the toasted flavor. So good. Oh my gosh, okay. The ube jam, I got a bite of it. It's so good. I mean, it's hard to find the jam. I can barely find it here, but once I bit into it, you can totally tell where the jam is. Oh my gosh, guys, if you can get a hold of ube jam, or if you can make your own ube halaya, I highly recommend it. It's so good when you bite into it. It's so much better than just normal ube butter mochi. Oh my gosh, trust me. Try it. Ooh, and guys, comment below what other ube treats do you want me to try making on this channel. If you enjoyed this delectable ube butter mochi recipe, give this video a huge thumbs up. And also, before you go, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss out on the weekly videos that I create. And with that, I'll let you guys go. I'll see you next week, okay? Bye!